Hello, my friend. Welcome to Flow with Jess. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a beautiful day so far. I am so excited to have our little chat today. Yesterday, I went out and I wanted to treat myself to some flowers. And I've had Miley Cyrus going through my head for days and days. You know, I can buy myself flowers, and it's something that I don't really do. And I love flowers. I My very first job was actually working on a flower farm, and most of our time was spent harvesting pails, pails and pails and pails and pails and pails of flowers all day. But then a few days a week, we had to go to a farm or our flower stand, and I got to create bouquets. And it was the coolest job. It was really hard. And I have never, when I was a child, I have some memories of crafting and doing some creative things, but I never really got into doing creative work like in depth. I didn't dedicate myself as a child to, you know, like creating. And so getting to work on this farm, getting to play with color and texture, and I had a phone that had really cool like filters on it, and I was, using it to take photos of these beautiful flowers. And it was one of the first times in my life where I felt like I was a creative person. And so it was a lot of fun and I really enjoyed it. So yesterday I was like, I'm gonna go treat myself to I'm gonna go treat myself to some flowers. And I had such a lovely experience. Oh my goodness. I knew that the stem was gonna be so hard. I don't have shears. So I'm using just a pair of scissors that I have, and hopefully that'll all work out. But I'm so excited. I just wanted to play. I went into Forest of Flowers, and I went there because 2 weeks ago at my full moon workshop, the lovely the lovely facilitator Adelaide, she had, bouquets of flowers, and she had Lysianthus. And Lysianthus has always been my favorite. I I just think, like, listen, I know that roses are like the flower that people always get, but like these kind of they look like roses, but there's so many more little buds on them, and they're just so much more full, and they come in the most beautiful colors. Like, some of them will be white with like little pink accents, some are purple with like lighter purple. Like, there's just so many different variations of them, and I just find them to be so beautiful. So, and I don't have them in my house very often. They were my wedding flower. That was the one thing I wanted. I was like, please, 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 Lysianthus in my bouquet, and so it was so nice to have. But anyway, so Adelaide, she went to Forest of Flowers, and she got flowers for this workshop, and she invited all of us to pick out a flower. And I was so happy when I saw them. And she was like, you know what? Like, you can take at the end of the session, she was like, you can take a couple more. And I was so blown away. And they've been in my house, they've been in the bathroom, and I've been looking at them every day for like 2 weeks, and they lasted forever. And they lasted for so long. And then finally, they were just coming to the end of their life. And I was like, I need to get some more of these in my life. Please and thank you. So I went to Forest of Flowers, and they were like, yeah, just go in the cooler. I was like, I just want a couple single stems. And they're like, yeah, no problem. And so I went, and I got a couple of single stems, and I'm just so happy. It feels so nice to feels so nice to have greenery and to have flowers, especially in the middle of winter, to smell. I don't know if anyone else has, realized or like thought of this or felt this, but I always notice one of the things that I miss the most about spring and summer is the scents. Like whenever the first couple spring days come around, I am just like smelling. I go outside and you know, I just you can start to smell the life coming back in. And I've just always thought that scents were just like so special. So, so special. Oh, and it just like it makes you, I don't know. This year I have, for the first time, I've felt that this winter hasn't been too challenging to navigate. There's been more sun, and I've had flowers in the house, and like there's just been more to kind of anchor myself, and to be okay with it being, this time of introspection and this time of, it's just so internal, right? Everything does die, it hibernates. It's quite a vibe. And especially Canadians, to we love to talk about the weather. We love to talk about how cold it is and how uncomfortable it is and like what it's going to be like. And I also take part in that. But I also I also really have been trying to be okay with the weather. And don't get me wrong, I dream about a season of my life where I get to be in like a tropical location. And I think it'd be really fun to have a season where it's not winter and it just stays nice. And we get sunshine and nice and warmth, and you can be by the water and things don't freeze over. I just think that that would be really nice. And I really hope that there's some point in my life that I get to experience that. But that's certainly not now. But this is a good lesson, I think, in being okay with being where you are and just being okay. Because, I think there's some lessons in finding the beauty and finding the comfort in these moments where things are a little bit uncomfortable or they're not exactly as ideal as you want them. Things aren't sunny and bright. Things just are kind of, my I just got off the phone with my dad earlier this morning, and it's been challenging in a way to, speak with him, um, and connect. They're going through quite a lot in their life. And have you ever felt, have you ever felt like you just don't have the capacity to hold space for someone? Like, that they need something from you, or they need to just, you know, talk to you about something that you may not have the capacity to hold. Things can be really hard sometimes, and it can be so easy when in if you're in that period of life, it just is all consuming, right? So you got on the phone or somebody asks how you are and you're like, this is what's going on. this is what's going on in my life. And, you know, there's just this assumption that they can like hold space for you. And I want to be there to support and to show love and support during this time, but there is a challenge in doing that. And you have to, I find that sometimes I just don't know how to do it. Sometimes I just don't know how to be there in the way that somebody needs. And that can be really hard. One of the ways my mom and I used to connect, and her and I have always had a bit of a challenge communicating. It's always been a bit of a strained relationship. It's always been a bit of a strained relationship, but we used to have one thing that always used to work for us, and that was doing something active. And for us, it was ping pong. we had a ping pong table, and we used to have our best conversations. It was like the coolest thing, where it was like we couldn't talk, we would argue, we would fight, we would, you know, it just things were not great. But then we would play a game of ping pong, and like things would just come out. Things would just come out, and it's like we could actually talk to one another about the things that were bothering us. And there's something I think about, you know, doing something like physical that makes it a little bit easier to have these deep conversations. It's almost like your hands are busy. Your hands are busy. So, like, I know for a fact that, don't get me wrong, I love having conversations with people eye to eye. Like, I think it's beautiful. Like, you're like intimately involved with someone. Like, you're having this deep and beautiful conversation. You can look at them. You can, you know, find their body language. You can connect with them. But at the same time, there is something really nice about, there is something really nice. Oof, shouldn't have done that. About doing something with your hands, or going for a walk, or doing something physical that just kind of allows things to flow in a different way. I didn't get a huge variety of stems, but I was hoping that these little, I actually don't know what these are, but I had a feeling that I could use these like little purple ones. I had a feeling I could just like break it up, and kind of use it as a support system. Such an art, you know, like I never really made vase arrangements. We just like made handheld bouquets. Um, yeah, we just like made handheld bouquets, and gosh, what a fun thing to do. But I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to have these flowers in my house. I'm so happy to play the lovely girl. Oh my goodness. So there's 6 stems here, right? And she was like okay, that'll be $30, $35. And I was like, how did I get to $35 with 6 stems? Because we went in and she was like, okay, like these are $4, these are $3. So I was like, okay, 6 stems. This should be, I was like, this should be $20. And she's like, 30, 35. And I was like, what? I was like, do you mind? I was like, do you mind just letting me know? I'm like, how did I get to 35? And she's like, oh, I overcharged you. There's only one of these purple stems. She's like, so it'll be 30. And I was like, okay. She's like, is that okay? And I was like, yeah, I guess. Um, I was like, and then I was like, dang, like single stems are expensive. And she's like, yeah, like the Lysianthus is $5 and this beautiful, I don't know if this is, I don't think it's a hydrangea. I don't know what this beautiful one is. She's like, oh, it's $6. I was like, okay, that's fine. I was like, it's fine. And then she just was like, you know what? And she added on, there's like a $10 off coupon. And then she's like, here. And she gave me another one. She's like, that'll be $19.21. I was like, thank you. Thank you so much. I was like, thank you so much. Like, I just wanted to play. Like, I just wanted to bring them home and create. I really want to trim this, but I don't want to ruin it. And she's like, yeah, no problem. She's like, it's like it would be almost cheaper just to, get a bouquet and then like dismantle it and you know, go that way. And I was like, yeah, that's a good idea. I'll keep that in mind for next time. But I was like, there's no Lysianthus in regular floral bouquets. They always just use like Gerbers and mums and yeah, Gerber's, mums, and what's the other one? Definitely roses. There's definitely roses, but I've never seen Lysianthus. I think that's going to be my front. So let's do that. Yeah, I've never seen Lysianthus in a like set bouquet, but that's okay. Maybe this is the start of making them more known. Yeah. There. Wish I had one flower just like popping out. Hmm. I can't recommend enough. Go buy yourself some flowers today or plant. It truly has been one of the things to like support well-being during this winter time has been, caring for and appreciating the natural world. And, you know, you can see the bare bones of the trees, but there is something about the greenery and the life that these plants have. I'm trying to be a good plant mom. I have a couple plants that are not super happy. I'm still learning. Um, but it's been such a joy getting to like be around them and watch their growth and development and like try to support them. Feels like I've people will say that they're like a plant mom. I'm like, that's so fun. I love that. Okay. Mm, I'm so happy. I hope everyone's doing well, truly. Um, if you've made it this far, what's a fun question for the day? I'm super interested. What brings you joy in the darkest of hours? When things feel a little bit low, a little bit sad, a little bit internal, is there something to just give you that spark of joy, of lightness, of laughter? What is it that you seek when things are feeling just a little bit dark? If you're feeling brave, I'd love to hear down below. And if you're not already, please consider subscribing to this channel. I always like to say it's a bit of a mixed bag here. You never know what you're going to get. Life shifts so quickly, and there's always so much to process and to navigate. So I just try to show up when I can, and I'm just hoping to connect with all of you and find this shared humanity that I know that we all have. And with that, my friend, take good care, and I'll see you soon.